Well, hey, folks, it's Dr. Matt, and I want to talk to you today very briefly about experience. Experience. You know, a rule of psychology is that our experiences dictate our perceptions. So the experiences we have largely determine how we perceive situations, how we understand them, what we expect is going to come forth from those. And this can be particularly challenging because a lot of us have negative experiences. All of us do, in all honesty, about one thing or another. For me, I had to get blood work today. And I was thinking about this because 15 years ago or so, I had to go give blood work. And it was quite an experience. It was miserable. It was horrible. It could not have really gone worse. It began at like 8:30 in the morning at my PCP's office, where a very experienced phlebotomist and RN attempted to take my blood. She couldn't find a vein. She referred to me as a hard stick. And so she's digging around inside of me with this giant needle, and that didn't work. So then she tries a baby needle, and that doesn't work either. And by that point, my entire arm is swollen, and it's black and blue to the point where you can't even see veins, much less be able to access them. So after about an hour of her attempting to do this, think of this now, an hour of someone prodding and poking your veins with a needle, she gives up and sends me to the local hospital thinking they might be able to do a better job. So I drive to the local hospital crying the whole way. And I arrive there and they attempt the other arm, have no more luck, and end up last minute able to get the blood out of the top of my hand using a baby needle. That experience was so traumatic, so horrible for me, because I hate needles, that I avoided getting blood work for a very long time. And even once I started to have to get it again, just because it had been so long and it was a good thing to do, I got to get that, your blood labs and stuff every so often. I have them always go to my hand because experience told me that's going to be the path of least resistance. That's going to be the safest, best option, even though it takes forever to fill the vials, and even though the vein often collapses because they're really small veins in your hand. You got to find another one. So each time I'm giving blood might be 4 or 5 sticks, and they have to dig to find it. But that was still better than what they did to my arm. Well, then about a year ago, I gave blood, and before the person put the baby needle in my hand that I've directed her to, she said, why don't you let me take a look at your arms? And so we looked at my arms, and sure enough, she was able to find a vein right away and used a regular size adult needle and was able to get all the blood she needed for all the tests the doctor wanted. And I told her, how did you do that? Because I was told I'm a tough stick. I was told that, you always had to go through my hand with a baby needle because, it's so hard to find my vein and they're really deep. And she says, no, your vein's fine. You just drank water today. And I was looking at her like, what are you talking about? And she said, you drank water. You see, when you're hydrated, the blood is pumping through your body and the blood is more pronounced and they're able to find the veins more easily. See, one negative experience was able to set in my mind a perception that said giving blood is horrible, giving blood is just this miserable experience, and so I delayed necessary tests, I put things off, avoided it because I didn't want to go through that pain. All because one negative experience. Well, this morning I had to give blood again, and this is the 5th or 6th time in the last year I've had to give blood. And no issue at all, didn't feel a thing. One negative experience set the entire tenor in my thinking for what I was going to expect every time I gave blood. Our experiences are really important. And so if you find yourself having negative perceptions based on negative experiences, the solution to that is to inundate yourself with positive experiences. It takes 3 to 4 positive experiences to eliminate the memory of one negative experience. All from one bad blood test. A whole perception was born. Something to think about.